Hello, everyone, and welcome to the What Turns You On podcast. I am Kaelen Marie, your host, and I am here with the one and the only Goddess Sophie Luxton.
hmm
Goddess, I am so fucking excited and happy to have you here. Welcome.
I'm really excited to be here, and I love that you have already dropped an F-bomb. We're just setting the stage
Oh,
for
yes,
our space.
yes, yes,
Beautiful.
because that's what turns me on. I just
Yes.
have to say it.
Yeah, I
It
love it. I
because
love it.
because what is it? It's a noun. It's an adjective, it's a verb, and I love
Mm.
them all.
Yeah,
There we go.
yeah. It's the one word
In
vocabulary
one word,
needed.
it's so powerful. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and share who our goddess is. Sophie Luxton is a movement teacher, erotic liberator, and pleasure coach based in Canada who has spent over 25 years guiding women to feel, claim, and radiate their sensual power. With a rich background in dance, performance, and embodied transformation, Sophie curates deeply liberating spaces where raw truth, sacred play, and feminine celebration are welcomed and revered. Her signature offerings include one on one coaching, the VIP Legendary Sex Goddess Program, Leader Circle retreats, the dazzling Goddess Gala weekend. Oh, that
Mm,
sounds juicy.
mhm.
And her bold new course for men, A Few Good Men. Sophie's approach is rooted in decades of experience, deep emotional intelligence, and a fierce devotion to turn on as a spiritual path. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Certified as a pleasure coach through Regina Thomas Shower, aka Mama Gina, and an active staff member on her team. Sophie is also a Dakini Level 1 practitioner trained by Lauren Harkness. Her work is a fusion of joy, embodiment, sacred irreverence, and radical permission. Sophie lives by one mantra: lick up every drop of life. Oh, bring that bad bitch on. Whether in a bath of authenticity
Mm,
or a dance of wild abandon, she
mm.
leads others into unapologetic aliveness. So
That bitch is bad.
bad. She's so fucking bad.
She's so busy too. Wow. She better get going because she's a lot of stuff to. Okay, I'm so thrilled to be here.
I'm so excited to have you.
Mhm,
Oh my
mhm,
goddess.
mhm,
Because we have to start this question with every set or every episode.
mhm.
What turns you on?
Mm. What turns me on in this moment? I would say where I am right now.
Mm,
Uh, Tears really turn me on. I
mm,
love uh I love crying. I've been doing a lot of crying. I love seeing other people cry. So tears are really turning me on. Um, Being beside bodies is really turning me on. It's so grounding for me. You know, what turns me on changes. um, Changes as I need different things and my body responds to different things. Like sitting on the couch with my kids and feeling their hands in mine, or sitting beside my man and just feeling his body is a real turn on for me. Um, I had an experience recently where I had an energetic orgy virtually. I don't even know what the fuck that means, but I do know how it feels.
I understand. I have experienced this. Continue. I relate.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so that deeply turns me on, and I was witnessed inside this erotic experience. So being witnessed really turns me on.
Mm, mm,
Apologies are really turning me on right
mm,
now. I've been receiving beautiful apologies, and it has inspired me to send beautiful apologies that make me feel really uncomfortable because, I hate being an asshole. Um, and also it turns me on. Honesty really turns me on, even when it's hurtful and difficult. And I'm a heat seeker. I'm like a snake, so I always crawl to like where it's warm, warm's pavement, the sun, rocks. So we're up where I live in Canada. We're in spring, but we've had some hot days. So the sun and the heat really turns me on.
Mm, mm.
And fear is turning me on. I'm having a kind of interesting, what would I say? I don't know. It's like a kind of a toxic, but also the best relationship with fear in my body.
Mm.
And I've been doing a lot of work with fear and anxiety and feeling that in my body and in my erotic sovereignty is a really big turn on for me.
You have just given so many areas that we could unpack.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to ask you, what is the one thing of the thing? Actually, give me your top two that are really your highest turn-ons right now, because that's the direction that we need to flow into.
Mm-hmm. Um, feeling bodies beside me, what I'm learning, how my body wants to be held and loved, and working with fear.
Mm,
Mhm. I mean, the other ones are like so easy. Oh, I love good cups of coffee. But this is like next level turn on,
yeah,
is what we're talking about.
yeah. So I totally understand the space of there is something. So Sunday, because I'm in Denver and so many amazing, crazy things happen here in Denver, and I just fucking
Mhm.
love it all.
Yeah, yeah.
I had the opportunity to attend sex church.
Okay.
And one of the experiences that was there is the woman who was the host, the curator of this space. She said, everything is opened and welcomed here. And if you feel the need to, you know, be nude or strip down or take some clothes off to be able to be in more connection, do so.
Hmm.
And there was this one gentleman there, and super great dreads, had his nails painted black, was wearing these boots, and he had this very funky jacket on, like a fur jacket kind of thing. And
Hmm.
when she said, be more comfortably you, he undoes his jacket and he's just there in his underwear.
Right.
And it was just so beautiful. And one of the exercises was is to find someone in the room and lock eyes with them. And he happened to be the one, he and I locked eyes together. And then
Hmm.
the next part was to go to that person, introduce yourself, and she had asked, who in here is craving touch,
Hmm.
requiring touch?
Yeah.
And the whole experience was about religious trauma and harm. And this beautiful human just allowed me to hold him, and the
Mm-hmm.
power of his healing touch cascaded tears down that I felt his healing of
Hmm.
his touch come to me. And he just let me cry into his chest.
Mm.
So as you're talking about, you know, that touch, that physical skin touch, and then the sacred holy tears that go with it,
Hmm.
there's power there. What
Hmm.
experiences have you had in your life recently, it seems like, that bring you to these levels of touch as such a healing balm, a healing gift, and something that's in deep pleasure for you?
Mm. I have been investigating more about my erotic body. I have a very good sense of sexually what she likes, although that keeps on evolving as well. Sensually, what she likes. Um, and there's this element of feeling a protection in my body, a grounding, a safety in my body that hasn't been an area that I've explored before.
Mm.
And yeah, there's something that's kind of melting in my heart and in my body around connection with other people, especially in my family. And the I think also allowing myself to receive in stillness without words. I do so much work with women,
Mhm.
and we love our fucking words. We could word all day long, and I love our words too.
I do
And
too.
this this like visceral element of being in space with bodies without talking, without needing to talk,
Mm.
is I find so fucking nourishing for me. There's also another exploration that I'm doing with masculine and feminine. I know everybody's doing masculine and feminine, but how the masculine body can love the feminine body and her specific needs. And just the realization that actually my man can provide something for me that isn't sensual or sexual, but just deeply protective.
Mm.
And what it is for me living in a female body to feel protected by a masculine body. That feels very like this kind of soulful turn on that is
Yeah.
very nourishing for me.
Have you ever had experiences with your man where there was just like the touch experience, and as you said, not sexual, not sensual, just like how what was it like? Describe that. Like what are my words? You've had an experience, and how was it to be in those spaces where you didn't have to worry about sexual or sensual anything? It was just in that bodied, entwined connection.
Mm-hmm. Um, well, for example, when we sit beside each other on the couch and I can put my head on his chest and my thigh beside his thigh, there's like a new element for me about receiving support from the masculine that is new in my life. And I mean, in a way, I'm just getting greedier about how much support I want. I went through a very difficult phase the first few months of 2025.
Mm.
My body was filled with fear and anxiety and where the fuck it came from. I had lots of new spaces that I was expanding into. So newness everywhere I looked on the horizon. And I got really greedy for support. I was like,
Mm.
I'm going to find out who the fuck the goddess is. I'm going to reach out to my ancestors. I'm going to have people holding fucking space for me and not just humans. I want all the elements.
Yes.
And so there's part of a thread also for me looking at like, how can I actually receive more support from the masculine, in particular, my guy? How can I receive support from my children?
Yeah.
What kind of support can they uniquely give me? Because
Mm.
I really want to feel deeply supported. And
Mm.
I'm doing big fucking shit in the world. So I need to be deeply supported.
Yes.
So, it's so interesting, like sitting on the couch, we're just watching TV. This is like, we're not in a fucking temple burning incense. We are watching the baking show, and our bodies are beside each other, and our hands are with each other.
Mm.
And that for me is like, that feels protective. That
Mm.
feels nourishing. It also lets me be exactly where I am.
Mm.
And it's a new level of support that I am cultivating in my life.
As you're talking and you're like, you're not in a temple burning incense, and yet that is sacred, holy space.
Mm-hmm.
And you have the masculine and the feminine blended together, and there's that deep, powerful connection. And because one of the main roles of the masculine, of the divine masculine, of a healthy masculine, is to support, is to be in support of the feminine because we are wild and chaotic and all over the place, and we need to be held,
Mm-hmm.
and we require it. And
Yeah.
that touch is just so deeply anchoring
Yeah.
into our being, right?
Yeah. And I also know that it's very healing for the masculine body to take on that protective stance. And, this program that I'm doing in the fall is basically to train men to hold space for the feminine,
Mm.
physically, emotionally. And it's very tricky shit because even women don't know how to hold space for their own feminine.
Yeah.
We learn,
Mm-hmm.
right? We
Yeah.
learn through the work that we do. How
Yeah.
do I hold space for this fucking crazy feminine that feels so wild, so untamed? So we learn it. And it's also something that men can be trained to do. And so most of the work that I do and the programs that I do, there's like this perfect synergy between what's happening in my life, what I get curious about, what I want to cultivate, and also what I'm the space that I'm providing for other people. And I think that the masculine body is deeply fed by a surrendered feminine,
Mm.
by a feminine who needs what he can give, and to feel useful,
Oh.
to feel helpful. Uh, it's just, I think masculine just drinks it up.
Do you feel the
Yeah.
energy? Do you feel
Mm-hmm.
like what you were saying? Like my body is completely goosebumping head to toe, my crown all the way down to my toes.
Mm-hmm.
And literally, this is the third time that I have heard this in the past 4 days.
Wow. I love
The first, and this is where so I'm gonna do a little timeline and see what you think. I feel like we as women must come in, we must come back into our bodies, and pussy is the answer. It
it. Mm.
is the answer because now we're in our highest vibrational frequencies. When we are connected to our pussy, when we are in pleasure in every area of our life. And because of that, we've given ourselves permission. There is this desire now that we want to teach our men, the men that are in our lives, how to support, how to help us be in pleasure, how to, be there for us. And here's what's interesting. I literally was at salsa last night. So let me just back up. The first
I
time I
love that
heard
you do
this,
salsa.
oh, salsa and bachata, baby,
I
salsa
love
and
salsa.
bachata.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was so great. But a few nights back, the Dark Mother has been connecting with me.
Mm.
And she literally said that women activate the men
Mm-hmm.
into and initiate them into their
Mm-hmm.
divine masculine.
Mm-hmm.
Last night, I was talking with one of the women after salsa, and she said she's a physical therapist. And she says men don't receive very well physical therapy from another man
Mm-hmm.
because they're always in this realm of who's the alpha male. And that's
Mm.
just unconscious, it's just who they are, subconsciously, right? Just however, when they are in a woman's presence, they are able to receive the healing because now they don't feel like they have to hide anything, that they
Mm-hmm.
can just be themselves, and which gives her the ability to activate the healing that they are requiring.
I love that.
And here you are saying, with the men that you are now bringing into your space, you are this activation of their divine masculine to help them know how to care for the divine feminine,
Yeah.
right? Three
Mm-hmm.
times in 4 days. That is a very loud message.
It
Holy
really
fucking, we
is.
don't know what we're doing, but we listen to the guidance
Mm-hmm.
and we receive.
Yeah. And the other, I mean, on the other side of it, there's also deep learning for the feminine. Sometimes we can just like think that we fucking know everything and that we're so superior and so better than men.
Or not.
And I I don't think that's true.
Mm.
And I also don't, there's a part of me that doesn't want women to feel like we have to be responsible for like all the fucking evolution of all the men in the world. And there is something about a really healthy, satisfied, turned on woman that has an energetic response in the masculine.
Yes.
And women get to practice to soften and surrender and receive. Well, you'll know from salsa dancing, like how many women have a hard time following.
Oh,
Because to follow is to surrender,
yeah.
is to also, our brains are so good at scanning. We're always trying to be ahead of what's going on, whatever the story we have about needing to be able to anticipate everything.
Yeah.
But then we come to salsa, and actually what's so beautiful is that we fuck everything up if we start to lead.
Oh.
And so the surrender and the softening is also what women get to learn,
Mm.
because most of us have such bracing in our body that most female bodies actually do not know what it's like to be fully soft and surrendered, because we have this framework that's constantly on guard, that has been vigilant for our whole lives. And there's a tension there that really takes practice to melt.
Yes.
And we
Yes.
melt with each other, but I don't think there's something about a masculine presence
Yeah.
that can allow a woman to fully surrender her vigilance, to fully surrender her doing, her trying, her scanning, her anticipating. And so women get to learn how to do that. And what a fucking beautiful thing it is for a woman's body to
Yes.
completely surrender. Most women have never had that experience physically.
That literally leads into the turn on of fear.
Mm-hmm.
Because we as women, if we don't feel safe, we have to be in that masculine, that unhealthy masculine,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
so, and then there's the fear of like, oh, but I've got to do it all. And I like just saying it, I feel a very heaviness.
Totally.
And it's just, it's horrible,
Yeah. It's
right?
horrible.
And so as you are here in this space and you're talking about this, talk to me as to why fear is a turn on for you at this time.
Mm-hmm.
Even in its toxicity, how is it turning
Yeah.
you on?
Yeah. Well, first of all, let me say that fear sucks.
Thank you. Thank you, baby Jesus. Yes,
I'm not trying to like make it fucking beautiful and rainbows and butterflies.
it's not.
For me, the experience of fear, anxiety, dread, terror, panic in my body feels fucking horrible.
Yes.
If I could claw it out of my body and throw it over down into a valley or into like Mount Doom from the Lord of the Rings, and it would just go into that little hot lava thing, great.
Yeah.
And um, I call myself the mistress of relentless turn on,
Mm.
because I want nothing less. And for me, turn on, yes, there's a sensual aspect. Yes, there's like um, this embodiment part of it, but really it's just feeling fully alive. There's something that's so erotic in being fully alive in the fucking fear, in the panic. There's like a freedom. I can already feel like talking about fear, it's so easy to contract, right? It's
Right.
like keep it in or get it the fuck out or like don't even think about it. And that, I feel that in my body. That is
Yes.
not fully alive. It
Yes.
just like flicked a bank of switches off
Yeah.
on me. So I was like, you know what? This fear is horrible. I hate this fear. I wish it would get the fuck out. And also, I'm so demanding of my life. I'm so demanding of my experience of life that I gotta fucking figure this shit out. Where can I be fully alive in this? Where can I be fully myself in this? And for me, the erotic inside of it was like bawling my fucking eyes out, feeling like get out of my stomach, and like opening, like opening my chest, opening. Yes, I feel you. I feel all of you, you
Mm.
bitch. Do I love you? Do I hate you? I don't fucking know, all of it. And yeah, I can't let this shut me down. And
Yes.
I don't know where it goes. And I don't really know what it means. And I don't know where my destination is. But in this moment, I want to feel more alive with my fear and not less.
Ooh, ooh, say that again.
And in this moment, I want to feel more alive with my fear, not less.
Yes, yes.
I mean, that's the work that I do and the work that I love the best when I go to other teachers. This idea of everything, nothing makes me less alive. For me is like the golden ticket. That's what I want from everything.
Right? I firmly feel when we are in our states of fear, panic, anxiety, overwhelm, rupture as we know it, that is literally the gateway to our up leveling in
Yeah.
our mind, body, soul, in our
Mm-hmm.
businesses, in our
Mm-hmm.
relationships, in
Mm-hmm.
everything that we are needing. And of course, we have to contract because society allows us to feel that way, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we can buy into that, and we have a choice.
Mm-hmm.
And when we breathe and embrace it and say, okay, you're purposeful. And maybe we ask the question, show me why you were here and turn me on about it.
Mm-hmm. And also, I would say that the tricky part about embodiment is that embodiment is the whole point,
Mhm. Yes.
which can really fuck with our heads because our heads want to be like, great, what? And when I say our heads, my head too
Yes.
wants to be like, what do I do with this fear? What does it mean? How am I like, how is my brain trying to figure out the next step or where I go? And really the most erotic and the fucking most difficult thing about embodiment is that um, all we do is feel, and we don't know what the fuck, we don't need to, or the point is not even to know at that stage
Yeah.
why, what the purpose is.
Yeah.
That part, that like part before, and of course our brains are so good, also we want to use our brains like, yes, what is this about, what can I do, right,
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
help me in this. But before we get there, there's this like sacred time, which is really for me such a beautiful and the most powerful time in a feminine body, where she's not there yet, she's just embodied. There's no part of her that has left that situation and is trying to make gold out of shit or trying to find the diamonds or the civet. She's just not, she'll get there,
Yeah.
but there's a moment where all she is embodied. And that for me, the practice of being in those moments is what builds up erotic sovereignty, erotic groundedness. And we must be in those moments. Otherwise, we're not embodied. Actually, we're kind of embodied and kind of in our head still.
Elaborate more on that erotic space as we're in
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yeah. Okay. So here I am feeling like when I feel fear, I feel it in my solar plexus, tight, So I feel a little bit of it right now. It's just been hanging out all day. So an embodied practice for me in this moment, say, is like I'm got my hand on it and I'm just breathing and rubbing my hand over it, and I'm letting it be a part of my body. I'm claiming every drop of its shape, its texture, its temperature. This is of me. This is me. This is mine. I'm also cupping my breasts and like also sending my body this, feedback, which is I can have both. I can have my fingers on my skin and I can feel my fear and panic in my body. And if I'm not careful, my mind will be like, what do you think we should do after this? Do you think we should like figure out what this fear is about? Like, should I ask my fear what she wants? And as soon as I do that, I'm into my head.
Yeah.
And so actually what I want to do is in this moment, and no moment lasts forever, but in this moment, I actually want to be, no, 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 pull back here. You still feel it? Yeah. Oh, yeah, I feel it. I still feel it. Cool. And then I get to play with it. I can play with it like, ooh, can I, what happens like if I move my arms up? I'm just curious. Does it move? Does it shift? How might it feel if I round my back and I like caress it, or I open my stomach? Like I'm actually wanting to go more deeper into it instead of out of it. And then once our bodies become really erotically attuned, there'll be, I don't know, maybe there's a moment of stillness, which is very hard for lots of bodies to be in stillness because then there's no hiding. There's no hiding sensation. And being in stillness and being like, yeah, I'm training my body to be here with this fear. And I'm breathing and I'm letting her know that I can fucking hold all of this. I can hold this. And then I'll be like, oh, okay, time for dinner, or time to move on, or yeah, what do I want to do about my fear, about my anxiety? But without that moment, we never, we're never truly free. We never truly claim ourselves in a way. And I mean, I've been doing lots of stuff with my fear. This morning I woke up and all I did was I put my hands on my stomach and we just hung out. And I was like, I'm just gonna like cuddle her and be with her and we'll talk about movies. And she'll be like, she's gonna talk about movies and I'm gonna talk about movies. And we get to be in this beautiful experiment of what it is to so deeply and tenderly love ourselves, no matter what, in the midst of all of it, self-doubt, judgment, hatred, fear, panic, terror, almost like, how can I feel myself more? How can I love myself more? How can I feel myself more? How can I love myself more? Knowing that at some point, our brain, of course, will be like, okay, great. The embodiment stuff is great. And now let's fucking do some shit about this. And both of those are perfect.
Yes,
The
yes.
embodiment means that we actually are like, we're like the bus, we're like asking the bus driver to make sure that she stops at the feminine body stop. Otherwise, she'll go straight to the masculine and we'll miss that whole beautiful, tender, rich, dark, exquisitely fucked up, erotic, alive place.
Can I just say you in that very, very easy, very holy, sacred, very just dropping into the body and playing and loving and acknowledging and witnessing and feeling the fear, like I got turned on.
Mm-hmm.
And how I feel is a transmutation and an integration.
Mm-hmm.
right? Because
Mm-hmm.
when we now see, as opposed to letting the head be in control, being letting the mind take off and go in 50 million fucking directions of things
Mm-hmm.
that aren't ever really going to manifest, the one thing that we can do is come back into the body, feel it, and go into that erotic space, acknowledge it. And it's like, I got this.
Yeah.
I
I
got
can hold
this.
this.
I
I
can
can hold
hold
this.
this because there's
Yeah.
purpose. There's always purpose, right? And we don't need
Mm-hmm.
to know right now, but right now we're just going to be in that space, that sacred space, as you said, with that erotic connection and just allowing it to be seen, witnessed, and felt.
Yeah. And we're just going to be greedy as fuck. Like everything gets to make us more alive, not less. And I also want to say something about fear.
Mm.
There are circumstances, the fear that I'm feeling is not fear for my life. It's not fear for my safety. It is
Yes,
not fear that I'm going to
no
be
different.
dragged out of the house, shot in the street, etc. So I just want to make sure also
Yes.
that there's degrees of fear. I would never
Mm.
suggest that someone in the midst of very real fear
Yeah.
should turn it on or even think of it as erotic. Maybe some people can do that, but I also just wanted to put that in there. I think that's an important discernment.
Thank you. Because
Mm-hmm.
there is on the spectrum of fear, there's different degrees,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And when there is that legitimate fight or flight that must happen, like I'm going to be shot, I'm going to be eaten alive, I'm going to, have something really physically harmfully happen to me.
Yeah.
Sure, we have
We
to
don't have to
acknowledge
turn
that.
that on.
No, no, no,
That
no,
that
no.
doesn't need to be
No, 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 no,
erotic.
no. That that
No.
that that's not turned on. That's not because
Yeah.
more than likely those are outside circumstances that are creating that and causing that. And
Yeah.
and
Right.
and the fear that you've experienced today, that I've experienced, those are internal. Those are
Mm,
things that more than likely we have created with our mind
mm,
in realms of lack, of not feeling safe, of um, scarcity of some kind, of not living to our fullest potential, whatever, right?
mhm.
But those are created within us. So I feel that's where the eroticism gets to come into play. But when it's something that's legit outside of us, that's a different story. Unless we're,
Yeah.
well, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and I mean, I think there, yeah, like you said, there's kind of just degrees. There might be a place that's like a little bit outside of us that we can play with.
yeah,
Um, a work relationship. So yes, it involves another person. It might be like some fear of failure, fear of uh getting yelled at, fear of being fired. Like I think there
yeah,
also are places that we can kind of play with
yeah.
that. And yeah,
Mm.
there's times when the erotic is not the thing. There's something else I was gonna say. I don't know what it was.
The question that is coming up in this as we're starting to like wind this down, I have the question, talk to me about why tears are turning you on.
Oh, the
Just thought
truth.
that was so beautiful. Say that
The
again, I'm
truth
sorry.
turns me on. The truth.
Yes.
The truth is the most erotic thing that anybody can feel,
Mm.
which is why crying feels good,
Yeah.
which is why you and I do a swamping practice. Why
Yes.
swamping feels good. It is why being completely transparent or honest about the fear that we have, the anxiety that we have, um, is so fucking good
Mm.
because our body loves the truth. What fucks our bodies up is the disconnect between what is true and what is happening, or what is true and what we are doing,
Mm.
or what is true and what we were saying. All these places of dissonance between the body and how we are living in her.
Yeah.
So, which is why the body can hold everything. She doesn't give a shit that you're afraid. or that you're turned on, or that you're in the middle of an orgasm, or you're heartbroken with tears, the capacity of her is to hold everything. And she loves being in the truth of what is fucking true.
Yeah.
And that's the most alive,
Mm.
the most erotic that we can ever feel, to be in our truth, to say the truth, to say the thing that stings, to ask for what we want, those tender things that like really push our edges. There's a euphoria when we do things like that, because it's like the dissonance, that little, like, I don't know, maybe it's like a plastic barrier that we can feel between, like, oh, how, what I really want to say and what I do say,
Yeah.
how I really want to be touched and how I get touched.
Mm.
And when we melt that barrier away, and there's this feeling of full congruence, this wholeness,
Mm.
forget about it.
Forget about it.
That's the best.
Oh my goddess. Oh my goddess. I could just continue on and on and on and on. And I know I need to have this beautiful, deep, heartfelt, profound conversation come to its conclusion. But first
All
off,
things do.
first off, I just have to ask, what outrageous dare do you have for our listeners today?
Mm,
Because I know you've got
yeah,
some great ones up your sleeve, goddess.
yeah. Okay, here's my outrageous dare. Um, my outrageous dare is to write a list of the care and feeding of yourself, 5 things on it, and give it to your people. How do you uniquely need to be cared for and tended to? And it could be things like, when my family comes down in the morning, I need to be hugged. It could be at the end of every day, I need words of love. Mom or honey or whoever, you did a great job today, or you look so beautiful today.
Mm.
It could be, you know, how we usually have a conversation. What I would prefer is if you just sat beside me, but there were no words.
Mm.
So that is my outrageous dare, to let people know how to love you.
Oh, oh, oh. Oh, goddess, the energy that you bring, just you being authentically in your truth, I feel the shift in my body.
Mm,
I feel the shift in my energy. I feel so grounded. I feel so surrendered.
mm, yes, that
I
feels so
I
good.
cannot thank you enough
Mm,
for coming here, and being all of who you are and all of who you are not.
mm.
Oh, thank you.
My deep pleasure.
Thank
Thank you. So fun for me too.
you. Yes, 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 yes. Oh, and for our listeners today, I just have to say, like, subscribe, share. This resonates with
Mhm,
you. Leave a comment. I will have all of Goddess Sophie's contact information in the description.
mm,
Reach out to this goddess, connect with her, because I know y'all felt something, because I felt it.
mhm, mhm.
And you can't mistake the feeling. So,
I love that line. Is that your line? You
no, but
can't
I'm gonna make
mistake the
it.
feeling.
You cannot mistake the feeling, because it's the feeling. And here's the wrap up.
Yeah.
We have to ask what turns you on, and it's the feeling that
Mm,
turns you on.
totally.
So always remember, everyone, ask yourself, what is turning you on today?
Mm.
Thank you.